Welcome everybody to the post-game interview ASC Weekly, week number 23, Diamond Champion RoscoweSAGA with me. Roscoe, congrats on winning the tournament tonight. How'd it go for you?
Pretty good. I feel I've been training a lot with my Team A buddies, so definitely felt confident in this tournament.
Sagacity always coming out and representing so hard in the ASCW. I know that actually our Masters, Grandmasters division was graced with the presence of Shake Saga. Shake, three-time Sagacity champion in a row for ASCW, before being dethroned by Complexity's RSVP, I believe. So big shout out to Sagacity for always showing up. What is it about ASCW that brings you guys out?
Well, it was kind of it was more of a kind of a group decision. It started off by me kind of joining the AC Weekly, playing it the first week, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. They do it for all leagues, so might as well try and get some more of our Saga guys in here and see how well we do, you know. And I just from there it just started growing, like just more Saga people were like, oh, that looks cool. He got to the finals. I wonder if I can make it to the finals too.
Right now,
So.
Saga shows up, and then Complexity shows up, and I know Val Hash was signed up as well. So a lot of gaming teams now starting to get to notice ASCW, which is great. We thoroughly appreciate it. So I guess we have you to thank for that. So let's get into the games a little bit. In this particular tournament, I believe the brackets were a little bit unfriendly to you in a certain way. Where I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you faced almost all TVTs. It was almost all mirror matchups, correct?
Um, yes, all TVTs except for the first game, which was a TVZ, but it wasn't too hard. I won within the first 10 minutes. So most of my games were TVT. Yeah.
So I know that you were a low random masters at one point, and pretty much, correct me if I'm wrong, but Sagacity pretty much said, okay, listen, Roscoe, you're good at all these races, but you've got to pick one. And Terran was the one that you settled on. Any reason in particular why you settled on Terran? It just felt the best, or what?
Actually, they did not say that. They said the complete opposite. They said, you know what, you suck at pretty much like your Protoss isn't up to par, your Zerg is failing in CVC. I mean, you got to stick to one race and work on your mechanics. Focus on being good at the metagame first,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out the metagame, and then if you feel like you're really, really good, then you can start going back to random. So the reason why I picked Terran is actually because I mained Terran in StarCraft Brood War. So it just kind of followed me to StarCraft 2.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so basically, falling back to the roots there, going with Terran, what would you say your best and worst matchups are as playing Terran?
Well, right off the bat, I can say that in Diamond League, TVC is by far the hardest matchup. Just because if you don't execute everything perfectly, your crush, if it gets pushed without your siege tanks being sieged, then you're automatically behind. Two, if your macro isn't up to par, if your mechanics aren't good, then the Zerg can just easily out macro you and just win by doing that. So I would say definitely TVC is my worst matchup. My best matchup I would have to say is probably TVP, depending on if the Protoss is aggressive or not. If he plays a more macro game, I feel like it can do enough harass to overcome the death ball.
So right in the middle there with TVT, of course, the finals for this week came into a TVT. Nye was your opponent. I know that the first game came to a base trade situation. Were you a little bit tense during that base trade?
Not at all.
You knew you had it.
I knew I had it from start to finish because the whole time I was constantly scouting. I was constantly sending out suicidal SCVs. I was constantly scanning to see where his upgrades were at. And I was ahead in upgrades. I was 2-1 when he was 1-0. So that really helped me out a lot in the base trade situation. And I don't know why he didn't lift off his base. He just kind of let me roll over his base and kill all of his production. Meanwhile, I was lifting up my entire base and moving it to the close by air on Metalopolis. So it really worked out well for me.
Now, You took the first two games, and third game rolls around. You lose game three. Thought process here. Were you a little bit nervous that it could be slipping away from you at that point, that he was going to gain the initiative and you're not going to get it back? What were your thoughts?
Not at all, actually. This may sound pretty cocky, but I made a ton of mistakes that game. Like, I didn't macro at all, and he had two banshees, which he abused the high ground really nice on Shattered Temple that behind your mineral line in your main. And what I tried to do was actually really stupid of me. I tried to lift up a barracks. I had three barracks, and I lifted one up, which cut into a lot of my marine production to see if I could spot the high ground for my Marines, and the Banshees were long gone by then, so that really was a waste of production. Not only that, but he was also able to harass my supply depots really well, getting me supply capped for a while, and yeah, definitely cutting more into my production.
Gotcha. So why don't we go into game four, actually, the championship game for you, the one where you took it, and you can take us sort of through your thought process from beginning to end, what you wanted to execute, what your strategy was. Now, going into the final game, did you have the plan of attack pre-mapped out, or did you kind of go on the fly and react to what he was doing?
Oh, I definitely wanted to kind of switch it up this last game because, I mean, I had been doing the same build throughout the entire tournament, and I was being casted as well, so there was a good chance that he was in the stream watching me.
Mm.
So, um, basically the last game I lost to Banshees to some really nice harass. He abused the high ground really nice, but I feel like since he saw pretty much the same opener from me every single game, I guess he thought I might stick to the same opening, which is why he picked this map because it's more of a macro map, and my build tends to be more of a macro opener. So I tried a 1-1-1 build with Cloak Banshees, and it paid off really well in this game.
Okay, so let's head into that game. I've actually got it queued up already,
Hmm.
and I'll go ahead and take it to. Right after the SEVs get mining, nothing much going on, so we'll get into a little bit more of the action. Uh, so as an opponent, how was Nye in the finals? Did you feel, like I said, you said at one point you didn't want to sound cocky, but it seems like you kind of had it readily at hand. The victory was almost certain for you in your play style, it seemed anyway. Were you at all concerned at any point of the tournament that you weren't going to win?
I faced against the random before I faced Nye, and I mean, he did some really, really aggressive builds, but as I said before, like, you guys do such an awesome job at casting the tournament, and I was able to get kind of an insight on his playstyle. So I was able to see that he was kind of all-in-ish, kind of, since he was a random player. So I figured the one game that had me worried is he did a Blue Flame Marine drop
Hmm.
and pretty much wiped out all of my SCVs, but he wasn't macroing while he was doing that, and I was just able to overrun him with superior macro. So that was really the only game in the entire tournament that had me worried because I was up, like he was up like literally 30 SCVs. Other than that, not really. Like Naya is good enough to be a diamond player, but I feel like he could still work on his mechanics a little bit more. He didn't really have a solid opening. It seemed like he was playing it more by like kind of going with the flow, not
Hmm.
really focusing inside of what was going on and just kind of sticking to his open plan, not really adjusting. So I think that's really bad to do in a tournament series.
Gotcha. Well, I'm at about 7 minutes 55 seconds in, and I see you've got the Banshee. Now, were you expecting the Banshee to pay off as much as it did?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I actually stole this build from BBB Angry, which is also coach for hockey.com. You should go check him out. Really awesome build because this build, it does get a second gas really early on, so your opponent definitely knows that you're going to be teching up, but you're able to get that Reaper out and see like, alright, what is he doing? Is he going fast expand, which I definitely saw. I saw him putting up the late barracks, so that obviously means that he did some type of economic play. So I was like, alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and switch these and make the Cloak Banshee and just harass him while I get up my own expansion and build up my own army like he did in Game 3.
Right.
So
you're macroing behind that attack. I think essentially in lower leagues, a lot of people feel the Cloak Banshee should win it outright for him. Obviously, when it gets to Diamond, you can't rely on that. Yeah, it's going to do a lot of eco damage. It's going to wreck shop for a while, but you can't obviously rely on that solely for the win. Correct?
Most definitely. Like I feel like this is why a lot of Terrans tend to lose their games because there's such a like, especially in TVZ, there's such a like harass style a race. They're definitely the defensive race, but they have to harass a lot, and often behind that, players just forget to macro. And like TLO is a good example of that. Like he has such good gimmicky builds and stuff. Like he'll drop here and there, but here and there, like there goes part of his food, another part of his food. Well, meanwhile, back at his main base, there's really nothing defending. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Like you should be constantly producing stuff to. You should always have a plan B after your harass.
Right, and your plan B seemed to be Marines and Siege Tanks. I'm at about 12 minutes, 15 seconds, and you have to feel confident here. I think that, did you know you had the win right then and there once you got those 3 Siege Tanks and Marines up to his front door?
I was kind of nervous with this push, not so much because I didn't know that he didn't have Siege Tech. If he had Siege Tech, that would have been something completely different because he would have been able to get those Vikings and shoot down my Banshees, but once I pushed up and I saw that that tank was kind of just rolling around with the Marines, I was like, oh, he doesn't have Siege Tech. I might as well take advantage of this and stim up and go in for the kill right here. I mean, what I really had to focus on was just tank placement right here and control with my Banshees. That's all I really had to focus on.
Yeah, bringing up production, actually, his Siege did finish, but it was late. Very late in effect. He never even gets a chance to use it. I think that he pretty much knew it was game over. Once you got sieged up on the low ground there, and you were just shelling at his natural expansion there, that was going to be GG from him. But so obviously, very solid play from you, Roscoe, the whole way through the tournament. What's up next for you? What's on your radar? Are you going to be heading to MLG Anaheim?
Definitely. I'm trying to see how I can actually get to Anaheim, but I'm for sure trying to get to, hang out with my team a little bit, get to know them. So, yeah, it's definitely next.
Excellent. Very good. Also, I believe you will be going to MLG Orlando as well. Staying at the Team Tumba house, if I'm not mistaken.
Most definitely. I'm going to be flown out by our sponsor, Tumba Gaming.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting to hang out with my other team. Yeah.
So,
Team Tumba.
Honorary, of course, being that Sagacity is first and foremost on the list. What exactly is it about StarCraft